It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Jennifer Covert, who is the Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. George Powers stops by, owner of Powers Accounting and Business Services. Sheila Ostrom will grace us with her presence. She is the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. And then Tim Shore wraps things up. He's the co-owner and brewer over at Buried Acorn Brewing Company. All on The Local Show this hour. Thank you for hanging out with Tom and Steve in this new year. You know, they were talking about the passage of time and the effect that COVID had on people's perception of time.
Okay, what did they say? Because I'm like, what year was it? Wait a minute, it was a year? There was 2?
Right,
was like...
that people actually kind of felt like there was this lapse of time, like time went by, fast forwarded, and we don't even remember what happened during those 2 years.
That's my perception.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Dude, well, how about these things that come in? People we lost this year. And you ever see those?
And
it's like, and it's like, I'm interested, but I'm also like, depressed,
right?
Like
well,
all these people, and then you always see someone like, I didn't know they died. You know, like somebody that was on something. Those things like you just have to watch.
Sure.
But it's depressing.
But you know, the point is that we're always losing people, right? So somebody's grandma died today, somebody's grandfather, somebody's parents,
and sadly somebody's child.
Yeah, and that can happen too. Yeah, so you know, it's always happening. It's just that the media needs to fill a lot of space. Just watch YouTube.
Yeah,
you have to fill a lot of space, or Instagram, and when you have to fill so much, then you go for anything, and then you start marking time by it. But I remember thinking of this when they went CNN, and you and I are old enough to know that when they went to CNN and they went to the Weather Channel full time, I said, what the heck are these people going to talk about?
I know. When I was a kid, the joke was we'd go to my friend's house, and it was the old cable with the cable box. And it's like, we can't watch TV. My dad's watching the weather. And it's like, what is there to watch? It's like the thing is, Dad's watching. I remember the line was watching the weather.
Well, I remember this, that when I was going to college and I needed to rest because, I was always, playing at a club, and then I'd try and lift weights in between, and then, regular college courses. And to fall asleep and take a nap, I used to turn on the Weather Channel because they had all that gentle jazz music in the background.
Right, it would scroll, and then nothing would change. And, not as exciting as Meals on Wheels time.
Oh, no, not as exciting. It's nice to have Jennifer Covert back. She's the Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. And how are you, Jennifer?
I'm great. Happy New Year to
New
you.
Year.
Can you believe it?
I pass your place all the time because my 16-year-old son has a girlfriend over there.
Oh.
Not too far
at
away.
Meals on Wheels?
No, not at Meals on Wheels.
Wow. An older lady?
No. I'm one of the side streets over there. So I pass all the time.
It's a nice little area. It's a great community over there. I thought you meant on 81 because, you could see the building from 81.
That's a dead spot for my cell phone.
Oh, it's a dead spot for
Is it
sure.
really?
I can't even make a call.
Going south, going north, right there, boom, there's like 30 seconds of nothing.
It's true. And I used to think it was just our building, but it's not. It's not. Outside, around, down the street. You cannot make a phone call. It's insane.
Wow. So, Jennifer, where did you come from? What's your professional and personal background, and what got you over to Meals on Wheels?
Oh, wow, what a loaded question.
Yeah,
today.
Go ahead. You got about 10 minutes to talk.
Okay, before Meals on Wheels, so I've been there about 6.5 years at this point. But before that, I lived in Arkansas, believe it or not, for a couple of years.
Arkansas.
Yes.
All right.
Kansas, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My husband's job moved us there. It was not by choice. And I got involved in another nonprofit there that was, a passion of mine, and it just kind of exploded. I've always been in sales, believe it or not.
Really? Okay.
Oh, years and years and years of sales, radio sales, actually,
no kidding.
for a while.
What company did you work for?
I worked for Galaxy.
Oh, no kidding.
I did. I actually loved it. I did.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I actually loved it, but kids and,
You
just
loved radio sales?
I did. I did because
you're a
I love
sick
people.
woman.
I really liked it because I got to get out there and the events and all that stuff. It's my gig.
You must have worked with Lisa Morrow over there.
I did work with Lisa.
Lisa's great, Jessica.
Yes. Oh, such
person.
a nice lady. So, I did a lot of sales, but then when I got into the nonprofit, I thought, wow, I get to advocate for people. This is great. And I could still get out there and talk and do presentations, everything that I like to do, be in front of people, go crazy. And then we moved back after a little spider incident happened.
Spider incident.
We won't go into that today. Not enough time.
All right.
But when I got back to New York, I couldn't really find anything in that same realm. And then a Meals on Wheels job popped up, and I thought, well, I advocated for these people. Now I can advocate for seniors. I can do the same thing.
So if someone's confused about Meals on Wheels, or maybe says it rolling food,
rolling food. Right.
What is it? Who do you serve, and how is it done?
Yeah, that's a good question because a lot of people think differently of what it is. And we serve homebound seniors, but also disabled or anybody who cannot make their own meals or get out there to get their own food. We deliver the meals to their homes. Nutritious, healthy meals, and we also do a well check, which is almost as important. We make sure that they're
that's
okay.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really one of the most important things because a lot of our seniors, a lot of our homebound people, they don't have family or anybody. So we're the only people that they see every day. And there have been many occasions where there's an emergency or a health crisis, and we're there to call 911 and possibly save their life. So it's such an important service, not just feeding them, but making sure that they're okay too.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not meant for people, if one spouse or the other doesn't cook well, we can't call you. And
you can. Actually, anybody who wants Meals on Wheels can pay for Meals on Wheels. I mean,
you can. You can pay for it.
You can pay for them. Some people pay, some people don't. But if I broke my arms and my legs tomorrow and I was in the hospital and I live by myself, I know.
Right.
I'm creating this weird scenario, but I lived alone and everything was broken.
Well, that happened to Steve, actually.
Oh no.
Another day.
Yeah, that's a story.
So where does the food come from?
So we make the food right at our building, and we make it fresh that day.
Oh,
so
goodness,
it's basically a bunch of your aunts and grandmothers in a kitchen making homemade food.
No kidding.
It's not, prepackaged or frozen. It's this really delicious and a huge variety of food that they make a fresh lunch and a fresh hot entree for dinner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then a drink. And a lot of our clients will eat the hot entree when we get there at lunchtime because it smells so good and it's hot. So they'll eat that and then they'll eat the cold lunch for dinner, but really good food. I mean, great.
So are those all volunteers or do you have paid staff? How's it work?
Everybody who makes the food and delivers the food, they're all volunteers, which is insane. We have almost 300 volunteers.
No kidding.
It's crazy. We would not be able to function without them. And we have only 12 paid staff members, including myself. Yeah. And they're all part-time except for me. So our volunteers run the show.
Gee, that's something.
It's awesome.
So is it more difficult in the first quarter of the year, after the new year, for people to... do you find that you're distributing more meals at this time?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And a lot of it is because of the holidays. Some of our folks are with family or they're all set up for the holidays and then the holidays are over and they're back to being alone and not having the support. So we get a big uptick after the holidays. Do
you also serve, people who are maybe on welfare or something like that are having food insecurity? Or are you just seniors?
We would serve anybody. Absolutely anybody who called, we would serve. And there are different programs and there's different, funding sources that you can go through depending on what your situation is. The majority of our clients are seniors. Okay. And actually, I wanted to tell you this because this is crazy. So we have about 315 people right now. We're up pretty high. Yeah. But 115 of them are over 85 years old.
Oh, goodness.
So that just shows you,
Wait a second. People are
living a long time.
So my mom, who's 89, would probably volunteer to deliver the food because she
wants to be out there doing it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Our oldest volunteer in the kitchen, I think, is 91.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
amazing. She drives from Camilla all the way to our
So if folks were listening and they maybe wanted to have food delivered daily, would they call or the website? What's best?
Really either. To me, I think calling is the best thing because you're going to be directed to a case manager. Okay. We have at least one or two there every day. So
452, write this down, 452-1402.
Yes.
452-1402.
Get right to a case manager.
And you can have a conversation. They want to volunteer or maybe they want it. Maybe they need food. Either way, right?
Oh, yeah. There's prompts. It'll tell you want to volunteer, press this. You want to, so.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for all you do. Jennifer Covert right there. She's the executive director Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. And thank you to all of your staff, too.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You have a great rest of the day.
You too.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting and Business Services, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.